Hello, LEC community. This is Delia Perez Solorzano. I am tuning in live for a very special info session with Reclamation Clubhouse. In a moment, I'll bring them up. Just as a reminder, I was totally prepared for this. Our mission here at the LEC is to increase the representation of Latinx educators K through 12. Our values: we strive to impact students and educators. We believe in personal growth. We work in integrity, authenticity. We show up as our authentic selves, and we build community with others. And our three verticals are home, heart, humanity. We build a home for Latinx educators where they feel less isolated, more supported, and loved. We inspire the hearts of Latinx students and invite them to become educators. And we work with schools to build communities of belonging where the humanity and expertise of Latinx educators is appreciated and affirmed. I will bring now the Reclamation Clubhouse team to the screen so they can introduce themselves. There we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How are you? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Josh Lyman. I'm the program director for Reclamation Clubhouse, and we've been doing this for about 3 years now, since November of 2019. I'm going to push this over here to this side. Who's next?
Hi.
How are you? Good. I'm Emily. I've been a member for a couple months here, and I've just engaged with the clubhouse in a number of ways, just really making it feel like a home where I'm supported and engaged in a variety of work activities.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm Maria. I'm a psychology intern here, and I've been here at the Reclamation Clubhouse since May, like coming off and on. And I don't know, it's just pretty fun to see everybody do the activities that we do, like just be basically a family and help each other. That's what I like about Reclamation Clubhouse.
I love it. I love some of the words, Josh, that I'm hearing, like home, family. Definitely speaking my love language. Well, tell us a little bit more about Reclamation Clubhouse. And those of you tuning in live, Josh has shared some awesome pictures and visuals just to give everybody just little, like snapshots of their clubhouse culture. I love it.
Certainly. So we provide the opportunity for members to experience meaningful work, building relationships and gaining independence while developing the confidence and skills essential to successfully integrate within the community. We are a community-based effort to enhance the lives of people living with mental illness and providing ongoing support for members to successfully achieve their highest potential. So that's a little bit about Reclamation Clubhouse. As you can see in these pictures, we've done some great things with, just having a social time, being able to get people used to just talking with one another. A lot of times they find themselves isolated at home. So having activities to do where they feel like they're in a safe environment to do that. That's what this picture is kind of about.
Nice. And where are you located again?
We're located at 2140 Santa Fe Road in Olathe. We just moved down here, and right now we're getting the building ready for official opening. Right now we're just there cleaning and getting things ready for us to open.
Nice.
But we'll be starting that very shortly. We can still give people tours of our clubhouse, available all the time.
Nice. Well, congratulations. All right. And I think Emily's going to share who qualifies to be a member of the clubhouse, and why do you think it's important for educators to learn about this?
So basically anyone who's an adult, so 18 and up, who has a diagnosis of a mental illness qualifies to be a member. We want people who support each other and like to share their ideas. We like idea people. We like people who like to be involved. The great thing about Clubhouse is we really like to work together on projects. If you have an idea, Josh and the whole staff here are really good about making those ideas come true, about having members support each other in making the Clubhouse like a really safe and supportive environment. And so people who come in and want to be a part of a community, those are people that we really value and are really looking for. And then for teachers, I was actually a teacher for 6 years and worked in special education. And so I love being a teacher, and I think teachers are definitely supported here. I have the opportunity to do some teaching here, and it's been really great because I've had a really supportive environment. Like I've been able to run education meetings here. Other people have been able to run other meetings here. So they definitely really value teachers and their input in kind of all areas of the Clubhouse.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm sure you saw my little heart. Yes. So how long did you teach? You said 6 years? Oh, I think they froze. Or she's thinking about it. All right, Alicia, stay tuned. I will do some troubleshooting with them. I'll be back. All right, I think it looks like they're back. Give me a thumbs up in the studio if you're good. All right. So before the technological glitch, I was asking Emily, how long did you teach again?
I taught for 6 years.
Yes, I thought you said 6 years. That's awesome. All right. And you said you taught special ed, and so you've been able to integrate some of like your passions and skills. That's Yvonne in the studio, by the way. He's on our team. You can wave, he sees you. But yes, no, that's great. And so anyone essentially qualifies to be a member, right? Like, and I remember I had a lot of questions. I think they're frozen again. Might be having some technology or some Wi-Fi issues. All right, I'm gonna jump on a call. I'm gonna keep a countdown, Yvonne, running. Okay, they are back. Okay, I'm going to stop asking the question about your teaching because when I say that, it freezes. So essentially, though, I was just reiterating that, anyone qualifies, right, as a member who specifically, and help me with the wording, who identifies with a mental health disorder. What was the wording that you called it? Or yeah, Josh, she's looking at Josh. Josh, help us out.
Yes. Yeah, it's so people who are living with mental illness. That could be
Okay.
ADHD, depression, PTSD. It could be schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, things like that.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yes. All right. And yes, I agree. Like what Emily was saying, that this is super important for educators to learn about. I'm going to go ahead on with the question on how much it costs, right? So these were questions that I had for Josh too, because I kept thinking initially that the clubhouse was a home where folks lived in. And he kept telling me, no, Delia, this is a space where folks can come for support, right? And I was like, oh, well, my question right away was, is there a cost associated to this? So tell us a little bit about this, Maria.
So we're a nonprofit organization. So basically, we have no cost for being a member, but we are looking for projects to get some money for donations or do activities or whatever, just to help us keep up with the normal day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what we do at the clubhouse normally is just we open at 8:30 or something like that, and then we have several meetings, and then we do different activities until lunch, and then we get lunch together, and then after lunch we got some more activities that we do normally, like the education meetings that Emily used to do, or wellness meetings or whatever, just to make sure that everyone is doing fine. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, I know you mentioned activities, and so some of these can be, it seems like, like workshops, some learning opportunities, some check-ins. And I believe Josh mentioned in the intro, just like a space where folks can socialize, right? Like a place of belonging, some like that familia feeling, etc.
Exactly.
And you also mentioned the like there isn't a cost. And I think Josh, can you speak to like how you get your funding? I thought it was interesting.
Sure. So we are very fortunate to be part of a coalition of clubhouses around Kansas, and not only that, but part of the Clubhouse International. So whenever you get accredited through Clubhouse International, it gives you the opportunity then to get funding. In our case, we reached out to the state of Kansas a few years back. And we have state of Kansas lottery machine funding. So anytime you go to a machine and get your lottery ticket in Kansas, then a substantial portion of that goes towards Clubhouse, but also towards other mental health services for emergencies in the state of Kansas. So specifically for Kansas, I know that Missouri also in part funds their clubhouses. There are 5 total in Missouri. There's 4 here in Kansas, and we're looking to open a 5th here sometime. So what we do is we look for nonprofits that are looking at something they can involve their members in, where it's member led, where staff are just there to empower, just to kind of help kind of keep them kind of the glue holding things together, but that the members are the ones doing the work and are the ones driving the ideas of the clubhouse. So having the opportunity to have that funding allows us to focus solely on the part of this of getting activities going, of making sure that the members are feeling safe here, and that money is not going to be the issue. So there's only minor costs for things like food. Whenever people come and eat, then we've only been expecting just something just to be kind of a courtesy of, say, $1.50 for a meal, or for the snack bar, to pay for something for the snack bar. But otherwise, it's completely free.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. So now whenever I buy lottery, okay, it's not lottery tickets, it's the machines in the casinos. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's the lottery machines. Got it.
Yes,
Okay.
right. So,
So you
yeah, if you
heard
get
that,
it
folks.
at the gas station from a person, then you probably will that does not go towards it. But if you get them from a machine, like at Walmart, for instance, I've seen them there. Then
Oh,
that
the
will count towards it.
machines. Got it.
Yeah, the machine itself.
Okay. So it's like 7th Street Casino doesn't count. It's the machine, the lottery ticket machines where you
Correct.
pay. Got it. Okay. Okay.
So the money is
Ah,
already it feels like it's something we can say is going towards a good cause whenever people go and spend that money. So
yes.
I mean,
No,
I'm
that
sure,
is so cool.
yeah.
I had no idea. I mean, I know sometimes I go to like even the local like pizza places, they have like gumball machines and they'll tell you where the money's going. And
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
awesome. Okay, so I think you've inspired the LEC to put some gumball machines. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Um, how can people listening inform others?
So my turn.
Yes, it is.
So so my sister-in-law is a retired literacy coach from USD in Wichita. And so she talks a lot about her kids and kind of the private conversations they would have just whenever they're working together on something. And I know teachers are busy, so that may not come very often to teachers themselves, and maybe paras it comes to. But she saw how each year those students would become more and more trusting and would start to share about their personal situations at home with their own life. Maybe they are already in the system for having mental health, behavior issues at their age, or perhaps they don't, and the teacher would know nothing about that, but hears about it for themselves or for a teacher or a parent or family member that may have mental health issues. So this provides a way to share something yourself rather than just saying, here is the resource officer for our school that has mental health information for you, the counselor or therapist, that there's be someone that can help them directly, and that they can give them the clubhouse information, and they could call and they, as an adult, having turned 18 or about to turn 18, can then reach out to us ourselves. So a lot of times, these students, when they get to be 17, they want to make decisions for themselves. They're tired of their parents kind of being in charge of that. So getting that information from a trusted teacher and then having a chance to call themselves and make this their own mental health service rather than this mental health service that they grew up with, that maybe they didn't feel so comfortable with. It's a safe environment for them to go to. So if they're having issues at home, they can come and be there with us for the day, involved, and that might help them to have an easier transition into those adult services later on, rather than just leaving the system altogether, which just happens all too often, really, as it is right now.
Right. And Josh, as we were promoting this, like we said this was for, educators who are supporting students post graduation. So and also like for those higher ed folks listening, right? So counselors, family advocates. So this is something that the Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools has. They have family advocacy, and it's essentially like homeroom. So I had a group of like 20 students, and they were graduating the year of COVID. So you can imagine what was going on. I had students with IEPs in my classroom, so individualized education plans. And we also had students, with ADD, depression, etc., that students confided in me with, right? So that's a perfect example, wouldn't you say? Like, so I have a student
Exactly.
that's like, about to graduate. I could give them information, which we will be sharing in the comments after this, the flyer that you shared and how folks can get engaged and continue to get engaged with y'all. But yeah, that's something that I would share with that student, right? Like, hey, look, as you exit and, go on with your, I'm going to use air quotes because kids love saying grown, your grown life, right? Like, as you go out there, know that there's support, know that there's a place where, you could continue your journey through life. with your mental illness. It sounds I don't want to say, I guess, uncomfortable saying it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many different words that people use, but I also think it's extremely important also to call it what it is. Name a thing is something that I've been embracing more and more. Like it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to talk about what it is that you may be struggling with, or like an area where there's opportunities to grow and there's a space for it, and there's Reclamation Clubhouse.
Sure. And go ahead, Emily. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how will Reclamation Clubhouse help our teachers and students?
Oh, you have
That's a perfect
statement?
No, I can do that. Well, something I was going to say too is like,
sure.
This kind of speaks to this too, is we don't want to necessarily just be like a stopping point either, like a drop off point where, you know, we kind of are dropping people off from one person to the next and shuffling them around. We want to be a partner with teachers. We want to be a partner with people that we're talking to. So instead of just, okay, you know, this student is going from this person to our clubhouse, we really want to partner with agencies, with people, and say, you know, how can we support your students? And if they're still in your care, like maybe, you know, for my students, they were in my care until they were 22. So how can we support you? How can we, if they're coming to the clubhouse, how can we do things that you do in your classroom that works for you? And how can we emulate that in our clubhouse? Or here's some things that we do that work for us. How can we partner with you to see how that could help you? And even if, you know, your student is moving on from your classroom, like how can we be a partner? How can we support you in your classroom? And how can they be supported in the clubhouse too? So instead of just being like a drop off point and we just switch people around, how can we really be a partner with the teachers and with your collaboration too?
That is such a wonderful point, because I forgot about that. Like students with, for example, students in IEP, that's the reference you were making too. Like they can be in school till they're 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
21, 22. Absolutely. No, I love that. And the partnering, I think that's like that. It's a mixture of like continuity of care mixed with collaboration, right? Can you speak to some what's going on in the picture here? I see a gentleman maybe speaking to a small group, and then a large, like looks like a little conference room. Can you give us some examples of?
So yeah, that room on the right there is actually the entire clubhouse at the time, you know, up until now. We've gotten to this new building now. It's much bigger. We have more opportunity. But yeah, that actually consists of the clubhouse itself. And those members are there learning about an educational opportunity. I believe this was in regards to finances and learning how to maybe save money a little bit. Just, you know, people want to go and do things with the clubhouse, but they're going to need their own money sometimes for that. Most of the time for that. So maybe going to the river market in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. That's a pretty big deal for folks. Some of them had not been there very often in their lives. So we were helping them learn about saving money. That was a collaborative effort with the occupational therapy students we have. We have interns from occupational therapy who helped to put that together for us. You see in the picture, people are listening to that. And then on the left there, you see a picture of a guy who is teaching about how to make it through those bad times with mental health. That we all have our ups and downs, and only, you know, at some point, only the people who have the illnesses can really explain or understand, come from an area of understanding with others who are suffering with mental illness. And so he's explaining that to the group in the room there. So that's how, you know, understanding that this is a peer-run program, that the staff are there just to kind of be behind the scenes and not really visible. We don't wear our name tags. and we just all work together there. So you'll see a little bit of that in this.
Yes.
That they are working, and we're in the background, and that they are the ones, really reaching out and making things happen for each other.
I like that. Thank you. All right, I think this one's going for Maria or whoever would like to chime in. So according to some data, 27% of teachers experience depression and 37% experience anxiety. Can your program help teachers, educators, paras, etc. as well? And if so, how?
So since we're an organization that supports people with mental health, doesn't matter if you're a teacher or if you're a student, we're gonna support you no matter what. But like we're also focused on organized work. So if you were a teacher, we're gonna encourage you to do like several activities like Emily used to do. So give an educational meeting on your area, or just like something that would help other people, especially other members here, to like be more independent in their lives. And yeah, but I think Emily could speak way better than I can for that question. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, so obviously I am a teacher with who experiences depression and anxiety. So definitely this place has definitely helped me, and I think it can help, many more teachers too. Right now I'm not working, so I have days to come in here and do that. But even when I was working, we are open in at least one evening a weekend and one weekend a month. So if you were working, there are times when you can come in and you can still experience some of our activities and be involved that way. And also you can be involved like I was in kind of that work order day in some of the activities, and also just have that peer support and that socialization of people who understand kind of the things that you're going through. So we're open to everyone, every background, and just really are there for each other and love on each other, and like that family aspect that you had mentioned. So that's part of why the clubhouse is so great.
Well, I do look forward to continuing to partner with the Reclamation Clubhouse. I know that Josh and I have been talking about like perhaps having like a workshop or like a live info session like in our space, or maybe we invite some educators into your space. We recently had a learning lab called Restore in partnership with Maddie Rhodes, and they had some like some mental health and wellness conversations around that as well, and presenters. So definitely, thank you, Emily, for speaking on that. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your vulnerability and sharing that you too, you said I am an educator that struggles with depression and anxiety, and I think that and these data points too, right? Like we are human, and we need healing too as educators, right? Like we are in an environment with all different levels of trauma, and we absorb it. Whether it's direct or indirectly, and some of us, we could say we've been holding on to this, and in the sake of productivity, right? Or I have to get this done, or I have to continue to give and pour out and pour out. I mean, educators is a profession, just like in the medical field, like the nursing staff, the frontline workers, we're pouring and pouring out. And so how are we filling back up? How are we pausing? How are we taking a deep breath? How are we practicing wellness, self-care? So I'm so glad that you found a space and you're sharing that story with us. Thank you. All right. Well, this has been, we've reached the end. Josh, Emily, Maria, is there anything else you'd like to share with those who are listening before we close out?
Only that we want teachers to know the reason why we thought about this is just said that with my sister-in-law, seeing those individuals who do have mental illness in her group that she works with, the students, hearing about family members, that there's this real opportunity for you guys to help your students in yet another way. So when you're thinking about your students this fall, you'll start to see some of these behaviors come up, and knowing what you have learned in school with mental health, that person may be affected by mental illness, and that there is a resource that you can give to them. That it's not that the resource officers and the people who work with the students directly, the counselors and all of them, they will be helping them there at school, but we could also be there for their choosing whenever they want to utilize us. And it's just simply, our information and maybe a follow-up question if they ever have a chance. We're happy to share information with you guys. If that person gives us permission to talk with you and you have permission to talk with us, then great. Mm-hmm. And that way we can just understand what we're hearing from them. We have a couple of members in which we work with their staff, and it helps us to understand, that's where this is coming from, or this is what we should be ready for. But they're going to come to us and ask us the questions of what they need, and ask for that help from us. We're not always there. We're not there to tell them what to do. They're here to tell us their ideas and how we can support them, but also what they want to see in the clubhouse for themselves. So we hope you guys will consider us this fall for your students and for any family members you may have that may also be living with mental illness.
Josh, thank you so much. And I really liked how I'm going to make up a word. Y'all are like people-centered, right? It's like, mm-hmm. You want folks to come in and share, what are your goals? What is it that you want, right? Like, mm-hmm. And how can we support, right? Like, that's beautiful. I love that. Here's some love in the chat from Dr. Clark. He's, I believe, an educator either in JCC or KCC. But thank you, Dr. Clark, for stopping in and showing love. And that's it. It is a wrap, folks. LEC community, here's a survey. If you were tuning in, take a moment, give us some feedback. Tell us how we did or how we could do better. And don't forget to follow us on our platforms. We're still looking to increase our numbers for TikTok so that we could eventually go live on TikTok. But if you have your phone, you can scan this or go to linktr.ee/LatinxEdCo and follow us on our other platforms. All right. And Josh, meet me in the studio. We're going to close out soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right.